Jedi. Good soldiers follow orders.
Hey, Top!
On your right!
Top, now!
Welcome to the Gulag, otherwise known as your favorite hangout place known as the PPG. Today we're back with another Star Wars theory. Today we're talking about what would have happened if Clone Trooper CT-5383, otherwise known as Tup, had killed General Skywalker in combat. Now, before I get into this theory, I want to talk to you guys real quick about something. If you see a lack in uploads on my channel, it's because I'm getting ready for Audition on the 21st. I just want to throw that out there for you guys. These videos take a long time for me to edit, so I just want to let you guys know if there's any shortage of videos. That's why, because I love making these, so I want you guys to be aware. Anyways, let's get straight into it, because I know this is what you're here for. So without plot armor in the Clone Wars, a lot of the characters would have been killed off. You're talking about Obi-Wan being killed by Maul, or the slave owners, or Anakin being blown up several times, or by buzz droids, or even Ahsoka being killed, and though it's debatable, she could be like technically a main character in the Clone Wars. A lot of the characters have plot armor that they really shouldn't have survived. So, with that plot armor not being there, what would have happened if Anakin was killed by CT-5383 in the Lost Missions, otherwise known as Season 6 of Star Wars: The Clone Wars? Let's get straight into it. Everything happens as before, so we're starting off right at the beginning of the episode. But this time, Tup lands a shot in Anakin Skywalker. So what happens is when they split up the teams, Tup just happens to be with Anakin's squad, so he tells Fives to grab 12 of his best men. Fives doesn't grab Tup, even though they were close. He doesn't grab Tup because he thinks Tup would be better on Anakin's sidelines. He lets Tup go with Anakin, and Tup just happens to be losing his mind and lands a shot in the back of General Skywalker's head. A wave is sent through the Force, a distraction, a complete and utter, like, chaotic feeling in the Force. Palpatine feels it and Obi-Wan feels it. Now, before I go on, I know Obi-Wan isn't exactly Force sensitive, like really Force strong, like Palpatine or Yoda, for example, but he was really close to Anakin, and that's why I'm saying this. So Palpatine, Obi-Wan, and Yoda feel that something bad has happened to Anakin, but they don't know what. Would retreat with a dead Skywalker in hand, and Trench would call Dooku, and Dooku would be absolutely shocked, because he knew that the importance of Skywalker was to become a Sith, and that he needed to contact his master immediately. Now, he forgets to tell the droids to capture Clone Trooper Tup, so this could lead to a complete distraction from the Republic, but Dooku has to tell his master. So, the Battle of Ringo Vinda would halt. One of the best Jedi in the Jedi Order was gone. He was dead. And Republic forces would retreat back to their defense point, as you see in the episode itself. Captain Rex would lose his cool. Obviously, Anakin and him were very close, so he would shove Tup against the wall and question him, like, "What did you do? Why would you do that? What's going on with him?" You know, and Fives would pull him off, and Tup would just keep repeating that phrase: "Good soldiers follow orders. Good soldiers follow orders. Good soldiers follow orders." Now, Palpatine is in disarray. His prize apprentice has died in his master plan, the master plan that was meant to wipe out the Jedi, not his future apprentice. Palpatine at this point was losing the war. Separatist fronts were being pushed back against, well, they were being pushed back. They were losing the war, right? And the war was coming to an end, and Palpatine's term had expired, but he had the executive orders. So Palpatine debated the best choice for himself, and himself being the Sith. And without Anakin, Plagueis' creation, which I think we can mostly agree was a creation by Plagueis and Palpatine, I think that was pretty much shown in the Vader comics, he realized that he was gone, and that Dooku wasn't powerful enough to help him recreate another Skywalker, another powerful being such as Anakin. So Palpatine would tell Mas Amedda, "Fetch my shuttle." Palpatine would depart from Mandalore and would go into the underbelly, and Maul would snore,
Master. More I have need for you yet. Master. Go to Sereno, destroy Tyrannus, and you may serve me again.
Maul would swiftly leave, hoping to use the crime allies he had conjured to his advantage. The Jedi would memorialize Skywalker in the temple, and Padme, of course, would be wrecked. Now, I want to clarify that Luke and Leia in this situation would most likely never be born. This is the Battle of Ringo Vinda happened during the second year of combat in the Clone Wars, and the Clone Wars being 3 years long, it's possible that they could have been born, but I'm gonna go with they weren't, just because That's my theory. That's all. That's because I don't want them being born. That's all I have as an answer for you guys. Anyways, Maul would travel to Sereno and find Dooku.
Your master wants to replace you.
Dooku would turn silently, knowing that he could best Maul in combat.
We could destroy him.
Dooku would agree, and tell Maul that they were to be equals, not above or below each other. Now Dooku would plan a separatist capture of Palpatine so that they could focus on winning the war. Now, why is this happening? I know I'm just coming out of nowhere. Dooku knows most of Palpatine's plan. He has a grand concept. He didn't realize that he was supposed to be killed off and that Anakin were to take his place, but he knew that Palpatine's plan was to have Anakin as his new apprentice. So, now having been betrayed by Palpatine, he would know that he could cripple Palpatine's plan, or kill him. Now, Sidious could execute Order 66 in this situation, but first, he wants to secure his power, right? And he needs a new apprentice. So, he's trying to figure this all out. He's kind of in disarray. This was not a part of his plan. He hadn't really foreseen it. He kind of assumed that Anakin would live and become the new Sith Lord. Now, he didn't anticipate that Dooku would be able to negotiate his way and Maul would negotiate their way to turning on Sidious, because Dooku has no reason to fight for Sidious in this point, because Sidious just tried to kill him. He just sent his former apprentice to go and kill Dooku, so Dooku has no reason to align himself with Sidious. Dooku would gather Grievous and Maul to plan an offensive on Coruscant, where the Chancellor was currently residing. Dooku would send Grievous down to capture the Chancellor, fearing that Maul or his own presence would aggravate the Sith Lord. Palpatine would be surprised, but go along with Grievous, so that he wouldn't be seen as the Sith that he was. A massive space battle would ensue, and Jedi Masters Plo Koon, Master Windu, and Obi-Wan Kenobi, who were all arriving from different places in hyperspace, may I say, would gather to save the Chancellor. On board the Invisible Hand, though, General Grievous, Dooku, and Darth Maul would approach the trapped Sith Lord.
So you've chosen to betray me. Master, you betrayed us both. Rivals, you shall die.
Lifting his restraints and leaping into the air, twin crimson blades, and a scream could be heard. Obi-Wan Kenobi, Plo Koon, and Mace Windu would make their way through a heavy combat. A group of LAATs would follow the Jedi into the Invisible Hand's hangar. They would begin an assault looking for the Chancellor, trying to save the leader of the Republic. In the captivity room, crimson blades would glimmer. Grievous would join the combat, attempting to land the killing blow. Now, Grievous, by the way, I want to say, he sees this as an opportunity to gain power in the Separatist army, He sees this as a way to grow his strength, obviously, to become more powerful in that army. So he's just trying to grow through the ranks. Sidious would hit Grievous with lightning, sending him into a corner of the room. Sidious would disarm Maul, but before he could kill him, he would be hit with a wave of lightning from Dooku.
Together,
Dooku and Maul would force push Sidious across the room where Grievous was twirling his blades. Sidious would begin dueling with Grievous, and Maul would jump across the room, striking at Palpatine, cutting his back open. Palpatine would fall to the ground. He would send out a massive wave of Force lightning, sending Maul and Grievous back. Dooku would look at his former master, after holding his own with his lightsaber, and would raise his blade to the throat of the Sith Lord. But before he could kill him, a crimson blade would be shoved through his chest.
I'll dispatch of him.
Grievous would see the death of Dooku, realizing that if Sidious died, he would be in full control of the Separatist army. He'd allow Maul to kill him. Maul would strike down Sidious as blaster fire was heard from down the hall. Maul would prepare to tell Grievous to team up, as he did with literally everybody. Maul literally just wants to team up with everybody. But he would find blue and green sabers crossing his chest. Grievous would laugh. He would make his way towards the bridge, but before he could, he would be confronted by Mace Windu, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Plo Koon. Grievous knew he was no match for 3 Jedi Masters, especially Council members, and he would run. He would do his little creepy crawly thing where you're like crawled on the ground. Plo Koon would stop and tell the Jedi to go after Grievous. Plo Koon would stumble upon the massacre that occurred, finding 4 crimson blades. Plo Koon saw, too, with the fallen Chancellor. The Sith Lord? He questioned himself. The one we've been looking for? Mace Windu and Obi-Wan Kenobi would engage General Grievous on the bridge, and much like in Revenge of the Sith, a Venator would pound the invisible hand. Grievous would make an escape. Afterwards, the Clone Wars would continue. Grievous would lead the CIS into defeat. Padme would become Chancellor at some point down the road, and lead the Republic into peace. The Jedi would continue, and Grievous would be hunted down and killed eventually. So that's basically my theory for you guys. I know it's a bit short for what I usually do, but I wanted to do something different, and I thought this would be really cool. I just had the Clone Wars on. I was like, what if he literally just shot Anakin? Like, that would just derail the entire thing. And I didn't really get into what would have happened if Tup was taken back to Kamino. I think a lot of the same events would have occurred, but I think Sidious would have just been in, like, complete peril and figured that Maul would have made a better apprentice for him at the moment than a Dooku would in the long run, because Dooku isn't a long run kind of guy. He didn't intend for him to be a long run kind of guy. He kind of wanted him for the Clone Wars, and then he would take Anakin, and that would be that. But Maul was younger and much stronger in the Force. Well, not much stronger in the Force, but he wasn't aging. Dooku was aging, and the Force was killing him off because the dark side drains your abilities, and since he joined the dark side so late, it was really draining him as he was getting older. So Maul would have been the perfect apprentice for this time period for Darth Sidious, and he figured that Maul would have tried to kill off Dooku because Maul was very subservient to Sidious. He tried to serve Sidious every time he could. He really, he was like a dog to him. Like no matter what Sidious did, he would always come back to him, trying to be his apprentice again. And I think Sidious even describes him in such a way in one of the comics. I can't remember though. But regardless of which, I thought it would be different. I thought it'd be really cool. If the Sith had inner fighting and they ended up killing themselves off, because honestly that sounds like something they would do. And the reason I had Maul change his mind is because he really realized at this point that he was replaceable as well. And having the chance to go to fight Dooku alone would have helped him, you know, kind of tell Dooku, like, hey, we can team him up and kill him together, and we can become the true rulers of the galaxy, right? So, at that point, I think it makes sense. I also think that General Grievous wouldn't take any shit from anybody at this point after seeing Dooku and Sidious be killed. He would probably just kill Maul because he wanted to be the leader, and that's what Grievous wanted. He wanted power, and that's really seen throughout the Clone Wars. He just wanted power and to kill the Jedi. So him being in supreme command would have allowed him to do that. Obviously, I think the Clone Wars would have probably gone a lot longer because the clones wouldn't have executed Order 66 with Padme as a Chancellor, and Padme would have tried to rein out peace talks after Grievous was captured, of course. So that's my alternate theory for you guys. I hope you guys enjoy this. As always, if you want to see a theory that you have come up with, put it down below and I will bring it to life for you. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys really enjoyed this. I thought this was cool, so please leave a like down below. I appreciate you all. I love you all. Spread the love, and always remember, may the Force be with you.